Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Markets Hunters. I'm your host, Hunter Gaylor. We have a great program for you today. Lots to cover, lots going on. I'm going to be breaking down a lot of the news headlines today. We're going to be talking about, obviously, what was going on with the shareholders. Breaking news, they're giving the billions to Musk. We're going to break down some of that. We're going to talk about a couple of companies that I'm actively looking at right now. We're going to get into a lot of that stuff following this program.
Coming to you live with the insight you need from the financials and political capitals of the world to the heart of innovation. This is Opportunities to Consider with your host, author, speaker, and corporate strategist, Hunter Gaylor.
Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Markets Hunters. We've got a special segment today for the American Wallet where we're going to break down one of my latest articles about the Supreme Court decisions and what's going on with that. And we're going to break it down way most people aren't looking at this. Now, I posted this article on my newsletter on LinkedIn, so make sure you go follow there on LinkedIn because this is very, very important of what's going on. But first, before we get into that, I want to go to some of the big headlines this morning. The Supreme Court, one, I just kind of want to go through this, but they rejected the bid to restrict access to an abortion pill. And the court found that the anti-abortion doctors who questioned the FDA's ease of access to the pill did not have a legal standing to sue. So we're going to be following that a little bit. Obviously, this is a major blow for anti-abortion advocates because it really on Thursday, they rejected a challenge. And the court found unanimously that the group of anti-abortion doctors who questioned the Food and Drug Administration decisions, making it very easy or making it easier to access the pill, did not have the legal standing to sue. And it was Justice Brett Kavanaugh, that was writing for the court, wrote that while the plaintiffs have, quote, sincere legal, moral, and ideological and policy objections to elective abortion and to the FDA's relaxed regulation of mifepristone, or however you pronounce the drug, it doesn't mean they have a federal case. So we're going to be following that. And, it's really sad that we're even having this discussion about abortion. Most people know how I stand on the issue. I am absolutely pro-life. I think life begins at conception. And, but we're going to be following that. Anyway, that was big news that people were asking me about on my thoughts on that. And I said, well, it's just, we're going to keep following it. Now, Let's go talk about the America segment for the American Wallet. And this Musk says Tesla shareholders voting in favor of his $56 billion pay package. And so if you look at the cumulative Texas votes for, they were staggering. So the shareholders were set to approve his $56 billion pay package and what is being seen as a thumbs up to his leadership. And this is an enticement for keeping his focus on the electric vehicle maker. And so Musk posted a chart on his social media platform X, which I retweeted late Wednesday, that shows the resolution and another vote to move the company's legal home to Texas. Those were set to pass by very wide margins. Those shareholders, they had allowed their change. They were allowed to change their vote at the start of the annual meeting. So we're going to be following that. But a person familiar with the preliminary voting tally confirmed that Musk posted an accurate count of the figures, and the results will be announced at a meeting at Tesla's headquarters in Texas at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, and that is today. So we're going to be following that here. Coming to you here from sunny South Florida, although the weather is, so make sure we are now in hurricane season, so make sure you are taking all of the necessary cautions. This year, they're predicting the most storms of record in this year, so we're going to be following those storms as well. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things in the financial news world, and one of the things that's interesting is I'm seeing these companies. Obviously, we're talking about MMTLP, we're talking about naked short selling, and we're really kind of discussing the implications, what's going on with GameStop, what's going on with some of these other companies. But there's a new company that I found, and I'm very interested in sharing this with you, and I'm going to pull this up here on X, and that is SETI, CETI, Okay, and that is a new token. It's accelerating the advancement of decentralized artificial intelligence through energy-driven infrastructure. Now, what's really incredible about this, and I want to make sure that people are understanding. As technology increases, the demand for processing is absolutely critical. And so a recent press release came out where they secured 80 million GPUs. You can go read the press article on it. In fact, I can pull it up here and go through it with you, because this is very important to understand from a technology infrastructure play. Most reports and CNBC and the likes don't cover this, so that's why we need to go through it. So this was on Crypto Daily, and this was confirmed that they secured 80 million worth of NVIDIA GPUs and hardware to expand their global AI infrastructure network by 25x. Now, why is that important? Okay. The new servers powered by NVIDIA's most advanced H100 GPUs are expected to arrive within approximately 45 days, further boosting the network's capacity to support a broad range of AI applications, development, and research. And the firm's pilot installation presents a state-of-the-art solution for Web3 protocols, independent development teams, and advanced AI research teams in an 8-server, 64 GPU scalable unit that can be expanded linearly and indefinitely. Now, what that means is when you look at the complex infrastructure requirements for data centers, having a distributed data center with high performance GPUs, that's going to really change the game, I think, for both NVIDIA and for SETI. One of the interesting things that had come out about SETI, and this was posted on their X, is they've created a rundown of very important information that we would need to know about them in the news. And so they've created their own Discord channel. So in case you missed it, you can go over there and look at the Discord channel, and that they list the link there on their Twitter account. What's interesting is we really go through and look at this. We want to know about how the revenues will be distributed between SETI holders. This was a question during the May AMA, and that was their Ask Me Anything. But make sure that when this press release that they had came out, they had to say, do not do any of the tokenization or do not report on anything using Ethereum, because they don't have Ethereum, and to use their WTAO, and I just want to make sure we put this the right way. They had said, and we'll find this here in a second. Yeah, WTAO. Okay, so we do not have liquidity in Ethereum, and you will not get a good price. And so they have pinned this post weekly and onto their Twitter banner as well, and a reminder in all of their socials. So do not buy with Ethereum, buy with WTAO or Tau, however they're pronouncing that. So obviously a lot of things are happening in the crypto space. So very, very interesting. Now, there was an article that says NATO is saying over 300,000 troops are now on high readiness. And this was an article in Barron's, but as NATO continues to have comfortably exceeded a target of placing 300 troops on high readiness as their alliance, NATO alliance, grapples with the threat from Russia. And that was what a senior analyst official said, or a senior alliance official said to that report. And so obviously that's always, Russia is always in the news, so we'll be following that. There was another article that came out, by the way, on this election stuff, and I really don't want to go deep into the election, but there's a couple of companies that are going public. You saw some stuff like with Trump Media, what they're doing. So everyone is following what's going to happen in this election. But in Ohio, there was an article in Newsweek that came out and said that Ohio's election shock as Republican district shifts 20 points to Democrats. And this was kind of interesting because it was a Republican district. It shifted 20 points to the Democrats in the state's latest special election. And that state senator, Michael Ruley, he defeated the Democrat to win the election held in Eastern Ohio's 6th district. And that was Tuesday, to fill a vacancy left by Bill Johnson, who resigned in January after 13 years in Congress. And then he became the president of Youngstown State University. But while Ruley was able to win by nearly 10 percentage points with 54.7% of the vote, to his opponent's 45.3%. The result marks a noticeable decline in GOP support, and the Ohio district compared to previous elections. Now, why this is interesting is because while we're so focused on the national political stage with Trump and Hunter Biden and all these other things, right? We need to understand what's really going on with the RNC. Now, if we look at the RNC, the job is not just to go out and raise money for Trump, but we need to be able to secure, the elections on a ground game. These are your state and local elections. These are your school board races. These are your county commission races. So while we're so focused up here with what the mainstream media is telling us, you really should get involved in your local aspect, because that's where the real change is affected. The national state policies really, as I said, should be focused on the main issues: border security, the economy, jobs, things like that. But it really gets affected on the lower, more grassroots. So there's a lot of people that are out running for some of these. In fact, I was just at a event the other night with Debbie Mayfield. She's running for Florida District 32. We have Mike Herodopoulos, who's running for Congress in Brevard County. So there's a lot of notable people that are running, and these are people that are going to directly affect laws and rules and legislation that are going to affect groups and families and the local economy as well. So it's not just a national conversation; it should be a local conversation as well. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channels. We've got a lot going on. This was just wanted to get on a little bit and talk through some of these things. We've got a lot of stuff that we're going to be going through. We've got some more guests coming. We've got some more media. We're expanding some studio space, which is great. We're in talks with a couple of different networks, as well as taking the American Wallet to more of a nationwide broadcast. So be on the look for that. We'll go in and out, not anything on a scheduled programming, but just coming in and talking a little bit of politics, talking a little bit of finances, and mainly with the American Wallet is how the rules and how these policies are directly affecting the bottom line. And that hits your wallet, where your dollars are being spent, from your grocery store prices to gasoline prices to your overall cost of living. These, under the Biden administration, this Bidenomics has actually totally destroyed the U.S. economy in ways that it's going to be very hard to come back from. But unless you have a business mentality, and you can come in and we can start doing things like drilling, we can get rid of deregulation. It just really deregulate, get the government out of our pockets, and do everything that we can in order to build a free, really a system that allows for the free enterprise system to really work, and allow this capital world in which we live in to really take advantage of the capitalist system. Obviously, we know socialism and totalitarianism and all of these other isms don't work, right? And we've seen that, and now have experienced it and have lived through it. So I think we get back to a free and a free enterprise system, to where we can, just get this country roaring again, like it was under the Trump administration. So energy independence, secure borders, states' rights, all of that good jazz, right? And keep the free states free, as they say. So that is a little bit of our American Wallet. Like I said, we're going to be going in and out on various topics. We've got some guests coming in. We've got some quantum stuff that we're going to be covering. We're really going to be talking about some of the millennial banking challenges that are happening. Obviously, we're T1 banking now, so I'll keep you up to date on that. We've got a couple of appearances on CNBC. I'm in talks with some people over at Fox Business as well, to really go deep into how this is affecting the next generation that's coming up. Because, unless people are really read well into this, they're just talking heads at the end of the day. We're bringing you, from our perspective, people that are in. These are real contracts. These are real customers. These are real deals that we're dealing with. And we like talking directly to the people and hearing it straight from them, the people that have been there, done that, not just the people that talk about it and write about it. We're in the trenches. We're investing our money. We're actively involved in the growth of these companies. And if we're not on top of our political system, then it's going to be very interesting to see how companies will succeed or fail by not being involved in the political system, because government is in every aspect of the fabric of our economy. And that's why it's important, for being the market hunter that I am, is looking for opportunities and deals out there that make sense, that bring in revenues, that create jobs, and that create, greater diplomacy really in business, both nationally and internationally. And that really falls under the the precipice of making America great again, because it starts here. And I've always said this. I've said this on programs before. The greatest ambassadors are you, the people. They're we, the people. And it's not just one person. It's all of us combined together. So, as always, it's a pleasure to come to you from the American Wallet right here in sunny South Florida. And we will be coming to you with more and more information. So stay tuned and make sure you like and subscribe to all of our different programs.
Coming to you live with the insight you need from the financials and political capitals of the world to the heart of innovation. This is Opportunities to Consider with your host, author, speaker, and corporate strategist, Hunter Gayler.